Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, on today's episode, we're going to be answering the question on Tawassul. Somebody asked, is it permissible to do Tawassul with the jah of the Prophet ﷺ, with the status of the Prophet ﷺ? Tawassul simply means seeking closeness to Allah. Like when you say, "Oh Allah, do this for me because of this and this and that." This is Tawassul. So the question is it permissible to say, "Oh Allah, do this for me because of you know, the Prophet ﷺ, like as we see in a lot of communities?" So inshallah, we're going to be answering that question today. First of all, I would like to say Tawassul in Islam is of two types. There's Tawassul al-Mamnu' and then there's Tawassul al-Mashru'. Tawassul al-Mamnu' is the forbidden type of Tawassul. There are some Tawassul that it is forbidden as Muslims to engage in. And then there is Tawassul al-Mashru'. There are some encouraged types of Tawassul that we are encouraged as Muslims to actually practice those type of Tawassul. So I'll start with the Tawassul al-Mamnu'. Tawassul al-Mamnu', one of the prohibited ways of seeking Tawassul is to use a prophet, a wali, jinn, any object other than Allah, and supplicate directly to them, hoping that they will convey your, supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This type of tawassul is mamnu, and this is also practiced by the non-believers, pre-Islamic non-believers. So this is completely prohibited for you to go to any other thing to put something between you and Allah. In fact, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab classifies this as one of the nullifiers of Islam in his book Nawaqid al-Islam. He says when you bring something between yourself and Allah, you supplicate to that thing, you call that thing, hoping that they will convey your dua to Allah, then this is shirk and it takes one out of the fold of Islam. So this is completely forbidden. Then what about using the name or the status of the Prophet ﷺ as tawassul, saying, "Oh Allah, because of the Prophet ﷺ," because we know he has high status with Allah. So is it permissible for us to say, because of the Prophet or because of his high status, "Oh Allah, do this for me"? Now the scholars of Islam have said this is also not permissible. Reason being that during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, this was never practiced. And apart from that, when you look at it critically, doing this, the jah or the status of the Prophet ﷺ benefits him, not you. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. That is his status. So you cannot use his status to beg Allah to do something for you. This is not how tawassul works. Tawassul usually when we go to tawassul al-mashru, we see that in tawassul al-mashru, the permissible tawassul, you only do tawassul with things that you have control over. For example, you can say, "Oh Allah, because I have believed, because I have become a Muslim, because you commanded us to be believers, and now I've believed, please forgive us our sins." We find example of this also in several verses of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran. You see Allah is talking about Muslims saying, "Oh Allah, we have believed, we hear the call of the caller saying that we should believe, and now we have believed. So because of this, oh Allah, forgive us our sins." This is permissible. Why? Because this is your action. You have control over it. Also in the hadith of Abu Hurairah about the three men who were locked in a cave, they were traveling, so they saw a cave, they decided to, uh, rest a little before continuing their journey. And in the long narration, the cave was blocked by a rock. So one of them suggested that why not we use some of our righteous actions to seek, the tawassul to Allah. So one of them said, "Oh Allah, I had parents who were old and elderly, and I came home one day, they were asleep, and usually I don't, feed my family until I feed my parents. So I had to wait until they woke up the next morning before I fed my parents." So this is a righteous action, and he is hoping that because of this, Allah will open the gate. So he said, "Oh, like this is a righteous action that you are pleased with, then please let the cave open." And the cave opened. And the third second also mentioned the righteous, and the third. So the point is, this are evidences for us to see that we can use our righteous actions as tawassul. "Oh Allah, because of this sadaqah that I've done, Allah, because of this and this and that, please do this for me." This is one of the tawassul mashru, the permissible tawassul. Another way another type of tawassul that is also permissible is to meet, somebody who is learned, more learned, and more, let's say, pious than you, and seek that they pray for you. There's nothing wrong in this. When you meet, let's say, a sheikh or someone who you know is more knowledgeable than you, say, "Oh, pray for me." This is completely permissible. A lot of the times, companions come to the Prophet please supplicate for me, and you know. So this is also among the permissible tawassul. So tawassul is a very important issue of Aqidah because it can easily take you out of the fold of Islam, as we mentioned before, and that is why we have to take it very, very seriously.